Welcome back. Despite Maryland adding over 13,000 jobs in June, monthly reports still put Washington County's unemployment rate at 4.5%, up from a revised figure of 4.2% in May. Ron, what's up with jobs in Washington County? Is this the commissioner's fault?
Any time that the unemployment rate is at 3 to 4.5%, you still can't find people to go to take a job. You know, I serve on the board at Horizon Goodwill. We're in 4 states, 17 counties with 18 stores, and trying to find people to work is really difficult. So at that 4.2, 4.5%, with the amount of people that go to Pennsylvania to work, the amount of people that go to West Virginia to work, the amount of people from those states that come to Washington County to work, the amount of people that we have that go to Frederick and Montgomery County to work, those jobs in the city of Hagerstown, those jobs are so mixed up that where are the employees? The employees want to be paid, and that's where your problem is.
Well, and let me ask you this too: is the problem being able to fill? You know, is the problem lack of applicants, or is the problem lack of qualified applicants? Because that's a big issue too. As you know, some of the companies out there have problems filling positions because the people aren't qualified enough.
Take it to the next step. You got to qualify people. What's the next step that they can't do? They can't pass a what?
Drug test.
Okay. So
Yep.
that's one of the biggest problems you have, the amount of people that cannot pass a drug test. That have a background that they won't hire that person.
Right.
That's why we have a program, an expungement program, that takes things off of people's records that can't get employed, but you can ultimately get it expunged with certain mechanisms.
Tyler, we've never seen 0% unemployment, or at least not that I've ever heard in my lifetime. What is an acceptable unemployment rate?
The unemployment rate is what it is, and you guys are all talking about doom and gloom over here, but the fact is there are more jobs in Maryland and more jobs being added in Washington County, even though the unemployment rate is going up. And that's actually, I don't want to say a good sign, but it's a good sign in that it means there are more people entering the labor force as well. Part of the reason why, even though after the recession of 2008, we had one of the slowest recoveries of all time, why the unemployment rate was able to steadily drop that whole time, was because we had a massive reduction in the labor force and people that were actually going out and looking for jobs. So the jobs were being added slowly, but the labor force was reducing in size a ton. And now we have the labor force adding numbers. That means that more people are going out to work, and if there's a bigger pool of people that are looking for jobs, it's going to be a higher percentage of them that are unable to find the jobs. However, the fact that we're adding more jobs is still a good thing. So you have to look at the gross numbers of jobs that are being added versus the percentages, because the unemployment rate can sometimes be a very misleading statistic.
And I'm going to take that one step further, and I'm going to say that it's not just adding jobs that counts. It's not even the unemployment rate that matters. All right, you also need to take into account what kind of quality jobs are being added. What kind of, are these good paying jobs, or are these minimum wage jobs? That makes a heck of a difference.
It does.
Well, I think the other thing that needs to be considered here, and there is a rate of structural unemployment. That is to say that the available applicants don't meet the qualifications or can't get the jobs for whatever reason, Ron. The other thing that you have to take into consideration is seasonal unemployment. And we know that traditionally, because we are, like it or not, a big retail-based community, big retail-based county, with outlets and with all kinds of strip shopping centers and a mall and all of these other things, traditionally our unemployment is lowest around the Christmas season because we have a lot of retail-based jobs. So that's the other thing that I think plays into this.
Well,
in my mind, one month or even a couple of months of downturn or rising unemployment does not make a trend.
No.
Yep. And if you're looking at the trend, unemployment right now, the unemployment rate is lower today than it was 1 year ago. So that is another positive economic indicator that our economy starting to get people having more year-round jobs and not just the seasonal retail jobs like you were talking about?
Ron?
I would respectfully disagree with when we talk about doom and gloom. There's a workforce problem out there today. Companies that are coming here, talk to them all the time, and are having very difficult time finding people. The only people you don't have time finding, there's a new restaurant opens every week almost. There's a new hotel that opens constantly. There's a constant request and requirement for a $9.25 an hour job. When you go out to get qualified people, the qualified people are going down the road. The workforce that you have here, you can't find the qualified people to take jobs. So there is problems that companies don't locate here because of the issue. A lot of times they locate here because of one big reason: access to Pennsylvania, access to West Virginia, where the qualified people being underemployed come here to get a better paying job. So I think there is some doom and gloom out there personally.
So traditionally, Washington County has been lagging on the economic side. So we don't lead the pack. Our unemployment doesn't spike before somebody else's does in a neighboring community. Traditionally, that's been the case.
Yes.
Would you agree with that, Ron?
Oh yeah, it's just like in Frederick County. They're 3.2, 3.3%.
I guess my point is that we don't see these spikes elsewhere. So the other possibility, and I don't disagree with your thought process, the other possibility is this is just an anomaly.
What happens all the time? We're always in that area of issue between Franklin County, Berkeley, Jefferson County, and West Virginia. There's usually a problem that we have getting people employed.
Yeah. Doom and gloom or no doom and gloom, though, I'm going to argue that under 5% unemployment ain't that bad. And I'm going to take the last word on that. Next up on the flip side, how far are we from designing human babies? Really? Stay tuned. We're back in 3 with that report.